Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody today? Hi, Megan and Lulu, Prairie Fire Stitcher, Tail Stitches. Hi. Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. I might echo for just a second. I want to double check my volume. Oh, good. Okay, there we go. I heard myself on the Instagram feed, so I think we are good. Hi. Hi, everyone. How are we? Got a lot of people joining. It's so exciting. It's always nice when people come hang out in the comments. Hello, I'm Lizzy Bean. This is Stitch People. I'm working today on what I'm calling my community canvas. I'm doing a globe in the middle. I'm going to be working on the blue. But this AFC logo and this double hammer were stitched by two fellows who stopped and stitched with me in the park. I posted my second video about it just now. So check that out. It was super fun chatting with them and getting to know them. Only took about 10 minutes of their time and we all got to hang out together, which was really, really fun. Make some new friends with crafting the way it should be, you know. I think it's fun to make things together, and it's a nice way to break down barriers with new friends when you have something to work on together, something that unites you, as it were. So I'm excited to continue going out and about and making more new friends while I cross stitch and embroider. It's very fun. How's everybody today? Let me know in the comments. Let me know how your day's going. Um, let me know if you've done anything fun. I left this morning with Spencer, my hubs, for those who know him. He's spending the weekend out near Canterbury with a friend of his who's in town. They're going just sightseeing and they're going to go to the White Cliffs of Dover, and it's all going to be very fun. And so I'm solo this weekend. And so I went out to Kew Gardens, West London, and walked around. The daffodils are in full bloom, and crocuses and some other bulbs are getting ready to bloom, which is exciting. I'm very glad to see. Brickwall Club, hi from Yorkshire. Hi, hello. I'm just in London. Hello, Lily Gold. Good morning. Thanks for joining. It's always fun to see you on the streams. It's fun. This is my second stream from the UK. The first one was at our Airbnb, which was based in Woolwich, which is southeast London. Yes, over near Greenwich. And now I'm in Brixton. So that's fun. I really like it here. It's a lot higher energy here. Woolwich was a little sleepy, like families, and it was just a little quieter, just a lot of people going to and fro, you know what I mean? Versus here feels like much more of its own destination, like people out, people going to do stuff. It's just a little more buzzing. Spencer and I went to this cool market yesterday that had all these restaurants and shops, and it was really cool. We had some good tacos, which is the first uh hi Chris. I love that. We were just messaging about making some historical England patterns, which could be really fun. Anyhow, so yeah, we've been exploring this area, which is fun. Oh yes, I was over here stitching Australia. I had to put Australia kind of on the edge, on the edge of the world. So, but I've got Japan in there. Oh yeah, I need to do more around I don't have a ton of Indonesian islands going on, so I need to pull up my world map here so that I can stitch my world map on my canvas. I had a really good world map. Do I still have it up? No, I do not. We'll just do a new tab. World map. You got to be careful with the Google Images though these days. I think I mentioned this on my last stream actually. Um, I was thinking of doing like anatomy stitch people, like a sciencey diagram with like where you can see like the organs and stuff. And like most of the Google image results were AI, and that was not correct. And I was glad that I took anatomy in college because I could tell immediately, was like, this is not okay. So anyway, be careful. Okay. I need to put in Malaysia, the Philippines, Indonesia. That's where I am. It's all gonna get a little bit squished in here, but we're gonna do our best. I've got, is it Papua New Guinea? Is that how you say it? Okay, we'll do a couple stitches for the Philippines. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Christy. Hello, everybody watching. What are you working on? Are we all working on projects, or are you all just letting me entertain you while you doom scroll? No judgment. I doom scroll on the regular. Doom scrolling is its own thing. It's not all bad. Sometimes we need to just like check out a little bit, reduce the inputs in our brains, and I have no judgment for that. I was listening to one of my favorite playlists is like a 1960s, 1970s like hippie vibes. And one of the songs was talking about, I just noticed a lyric that was something to the effect of like numbing out with magazines. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. That like every generation or every era, every decade, if you will, has its own version of like doom scrolling. I'm sure back in the day, you just flip through the magazines and look at the pictures. It's its own kind of thing. I mean, I think there's the light and the screens and the algorithms adds a whole new dimension, obviously, to it. I wouldn't say they are equal, but humans have always had a certain tendency to want to unplug, unwind, all that. And that's okay. It's a very human thing. So Lily says, just came in from some gardening, now working on my current work in progress. Fantastic. Garden cleanup. That's great. I don't know if you heard, I was at Kew Gardens this morning. Big beautiful garden in West London near Richmond, and really really beautiful. And they have, oh my gosh, I was just drooling over their beds. Their flower beds are so pristine. And never in my life have I been able to achieve the pristine edges of the garden beds that I saw today, and it made me want to get my hands dirty. Um, Gardening was always something that I wanted to do more of when we were living in Utah and had our house. Um, we did some landscaping that would have lent itself nicely to like raised bed gardening. Um, but typical gardening in Utah is tough because the soil is really sandy and rocky. That area used to be a lake, the bottom of a lake, like tens of thousands of years ago. Maybe even like millions of years ago. I mean, it like very anciently was a huge lake, but all the soil is very rocky and full of sand, and so it's hard to just like garden in the ground. So you have to do compost and gardening soil and build up the soil. It's tricky, and then it's a desert, so you can't do like water heavy plants. And then also because of the sun and the temperatures, it gets into the hundreds in the summer. You've got to be like you can't do shade plants unless you're perfectly positioned and have buildings blocking and trees blocking and things like that. So gardening in Utah was a little tricky. I'm wondering, maybe depending on the living situation we find here, maybe it'll be easier to feel like I can get my hands dirty in a little patch of earth and plant some more luscious looking things and less cactus and yuccas. And not that those aren't beautiful. We had some beautiful Carl Forster grass and some succulents and things that were pretty hardy. Um, but yeah, it was tricky there. So maybe it'll be a little different here. Maybe our soil is red clay, lots of amending. We get really hot in Oklahoma too. Yes, I bet. Right in the middle of the country. Was Oklahoma, I feel like what I know of a lot of, I mean, historically in the Midwest, in the States, was Oklahoma affected back in the day by like the big dust bowl dust? Is that what they called it? The dust basin or whatever, like in the 30s? Did that go all the way down to Oklahoma? Like the drought and the, yeah, I'm curious. I feel like that was maybe Nebraska. and Iowa. Can't remember if it went down that far south. But I'm just gonna be doing French knots for the rest of my life because I have this Earth outline, continents outlined. They're a little wonky right now, and I'm gonna be able to nuance the shapes of things as I fill them in with the knots. But like for example, this big Russian, China, Asia continent needs to be filled in. This North America continent needs to be filled in. So they all need to be filled in with like 400,000 French knots. I'll be doing French knots till the day I die. Yes, Dust Bowl hit us hard. Okay, that's good to know. I mean that makes sense if you said the temps get there. I just couldn't remember exactly the geography of that. Wild. I hope that doesn't happen again ever. Really would be cool. We could do without regular dust bowls in the, big farming states that keep us all alive in the states. Oh no. Oh, my needle came out. I was worried it became unthreaded. I would rather my needle come out of the fabric than have to rethread it. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Marcella or Marcella. Hi, Teresa. We need rain badly. Oh, are you in a drought as well? Yeah, Utah's been hit and miss. Utah didn't get any snow for Christmas. I think I think my sister told me that like this whole winter Utah's had like 3 inches of snow, which is like Utah's state motto is best snow on earth. Not this year. It's not going to bode well for maybe it's been snowier up in the mountains, but it needs to snow there a lot because the water melts from the tops of the mountains and runs down into the valleys, and that's how the people live. But yeah, who's to say? We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, it's a tricky time in the States for drought. On the other hand, you've got the East Coast getting hit with like blizzard after blizzard after blizzard after blizzard. So they'll have plenty of water in their lakes. So at least there's water somewhere. We can just learn to share it. I've seen some pretty interesting headlines about water. I won't get like political, but I have seen that like there are some scientists raising well, I don't think water is political because we are all 70% water. There's been some interesting science research going on about water and water usage, and like I think it's like a worldwide problem that the water is not doing great. Hello, Stitching Vicky. Hello, Sloth Mom and Mary and Emmy. Emmy, hi Emmy. Just hanging out. Grab a project. Come be a human with me. Oh, Diane, I didn't see her on Facebook. You said my daughter is moving to I think it's Papua New Guinea. I know there's a significant Polynesian population in Utah, and I've learned enough to know that when you're in that region of the world, you just say all of the vowels. They're like their own, like you just honor every letter that you see. Like Hawaii. Two eyes. Hawaii. You say them both, which is cool. It's logical versus English that has all these like silent silent sounds, silent K's like knee or knuckle. Who puts a silent K in? Why don't we just spell it differently then? They always say language is fluid, right? Like we should let it be more fluid. Just discovered your account. I love what you're doing. I'm an embroidery artist in Pittsburgh. Huzzah, Nancy. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining. Thanks for saying hi. How is Pittsburgh? Are you slammed by the snow there? Or is that farther east than you are? I know I have family in New Hampshire and Maine, and they've been getting slammed, but I'm not sure how far west. Hello, Sue. Hello, Danielle. I know you. Hello. How are you? How's the fam? I am just working on my community canvas. I just posted another video with the first 2 people who came and stitched with me. They were so nice. They were so skeptical at first. I was sitting there and I have these signs. I'll show them to you. So here we go. Okay. So I did up these signs. So this one says, fancy a chat? Come stitch with me. No experience needed. I'll teach you. And has the Stitch People handle. And then I have this one that's just like to take the pressure off. Hi, I'm Lizzy. I believe creativity plus connection plus handmaking equals magic. Stitch, chat, or both, no pressure. And then just like, I'll ask consent before recording. Don't freak out. Um, and I saw them pause and they were like reading my signs and looking at me. I was like, hello. Do you want to? I said, have you ever stitched before? And they're like, no. And I was like, you can walk politely away. It's okay. I really don't mind. Because they really didn't seem the type who would stop. And they were like, no, no, no. Like, what are you doing? And I explained, I'm Lizzy. I'm a fiber artist. I do cross stitch family portraits and I'm also a filmmaker, and that I'm combining these two things and doing like a little mini series on social media to test my hypothesis that the world would be a better place if we all just slow down and make cool stuff together. And they were like, okay. And I was like, do you have 5 minutes? They were like, yeah, okay. It was more like 9. I asked if I could record, and they hesitated at first, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. It was nice. And then we just chatted and they learned to stitch, and one had done it like in primary school and the other had never really done any sewing before. And I learned a lot of good things. I think I need more instructions. I need to get a pencil, like a water soluble pencil, so that I can draw for them. I think that will be my next move, is instead of just, I let them choose their favorite colors. And I got them on, needle and floss, and was just like, okay, just go in and pull out and make whatever you want to make. And they just went for it, which was awesome. But I think it would help if I was like, well, what do you want to stitch? If I ask and then draw. So that's me blabbing about lessons learned doing a creative cross stitch collaboration with strangers in public. you know, there's a sentence I never thought I would say, but hey, we're learning a lot. Oh, thanks, Danielle. The cutest. Takes one to know one, ma'am. Takes one to know one. Hello, all of you beautiful people who have joined. You all have very unique usernames that I dare not try to pronounce. Otherwise, I would. When I see like somebody's name in a username, I try and say hello specifically. Print a bunch of tiny designs on fabric. Yes, that's a really good idea. Of course, I do like the idea of people doing something that like for example, I now have like AFC football, and this is 2 hammers. This is the symbol of some, I think, football team. So it is fun that people can do something personal to them. But I think if I had a pencil or one of those heat soluble pens, and I could just say, oh, what do you want to stitch? I'll stick it on there for you. That might be just a little more streamlined, is the word I'm looking for. Just taking out as much of the guesswork as possible. Little Lobster's Flower Bee. Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. I could do like, choose one that lights you up kind of a thing, and they could outline it or do satin stitch or fill it in somehow. Like those little, I'm imagining like those little circular like journals where you do like a symbol a day on an embroidery hoop. I don't know that I'd have the patience to do a symbol a day. We did a Stitch People, that community stitch along. I think that was in 2023. That was fun. And it was just one little motif a week. I even fell behind on that once a week. Weeks go by so fast. So fast. I don't know. I don't know how to perceive time anymore. I just live it. I just live it day by day. I did have this nice interaction today at the garden. I was at the front admissions desk, and I said, hey, I'd like to buy membership because I intend to come frequently. And the nice man behind the counter His name was Andy, and he was, probably like 60, older guy. And he uh, he said, "Well, I can certainly help you." And he said, "May I ask how old you are?" And I said, "I'm 36." And he was like, "Oh, well, I would have offered you, I just thought maybe you would qualify for the young person's membership, which he said is for people who are up to 30 years old." And I said, "Well, that is awfully nice." Speaking of time going by day by day, I was like, "Do you ask everybody that question to make them feel good?" And he said, "No, I really only ask when I think somebody might actually be the right age." And I thought, "Well, that's very nice, Andy from from the Kew Gardens admissions desk, entry desk, whatever." It was pretty funny. So I felt good. I could pull off 30. Okay. Oh, what a time to be in your 30s, though. I turned 30 and then 2020 hit. So basically, my entire first half of my 30s was just eaten up by weird COVID times. So I think it'd be really interesting to see how those like missing years play out for people differently, entering different eras of their lives. Like obviously it's going to affect kids and their development, and a lot of kids who miss like high school rites of passage and things like that. But there are other rites of passage, entering different decades or phases of your life. People who had to cancel or rearrange weddings, all that. I don't know. We shall see. I think the ramifications are still unfolding. Sorry, there's a crying baby outside my door, and Nubby, my puppo, is oofing about it. I don't know if you all can hear her through my microphone. Oh, Diane, let me see. Diane says, "I love that video of the two guys. I live in a fairly remote area of Texas Gulf Coast. On one of the islands, I started doing tiny stitches and leaving them as random acts of kindness at all our mailboxes. It included a note explaining the meaning and a request to tag it on Facebook." Hey, that's great. I love that. It's fun to see who gets them and who posts them. Yes. I remember coming across a painted rock once in New York City. Kind of similarly, it had like, "Please, you know, take a photo of where you found this and tag us." And then, um, because the idea was it was like pick it up and take it and leave it somewhere else. So the idea is that they would spread all around, which was pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, initials is a good idea, Nancy. Absolutely. And Danielle says, "So far behind on projects." Oh no. What are you working on? Are you making any more trick or treat bags for people? Oh, Teresa says, "I'm from Brazil. I grew up with Amanda." Yes, of course. I was just texting with Amanda today because I was in her neck of the woods. A lovely, lovely person. Just lovely. Do you do cross stitching too, Teresa? If you do and you've tagged Stitch People and such, I do apologize. I'm terrible with remembering usernames. Usernames do not stick in my brain. So if somebody posts, like, I enjoy it and I remember it and I like the portrait itself, the image of the portrait. It's like, "Oh, that's a beautiful portrait." But my brain cannot always remember that, like, at Nifty Stitching Sarah Mc so and so. Like I can't remember usernames very well. Um, it's like a weird blind spot in my brain. Always has, but I always struggle with that. I struggle with like authors of books. I remember the plot, I remember the characters, the title and the author. I don't know, but I could tell you about that book where that one thing happened and I cried and it changed my life, but it's hard for me to remember all the details about its creation for some reason. Music dictation, same thing. I struggled. I could sing you the songs that were being played, but it was always hard to remember titles and composers. I wonder what that's about. Is there anybody who knows things about psychology who can tell me why my brain is like that? Uh, let's see. Teresa says, "I'm trying to." Hey, that's great. We all got to start somewhere. I believe in you. That's great. It's never too late to pick up something new. Ever, ever, ever. Danielle says, "I need to update the kiddo bags, working on a pouch from Craft Club Co. I wanted to make me and my best friend matching Wizard of Oz tags for a Vegas trip, but that's in 2 weeks. Hey, you've got 2 full weeks. I believe. I believe. What is it? Have you designed them? Would you need to design them, or will they be pretty straightforward? Because all in all, I don't know what your finishing process is like for making the gift tags, but just stitching, designing and stitching 2 characters, you could have that done in 6 hours, 8 hours. That's an hour a night. Need to design them. Oh, that adds a little bit more time, doesn't it? I'm gonna shift from, I filled in most of Australia. I'm gonna shift from that to outlining the earth so that this looks a little less obtuse here in the middle. It's very amorphous looking at the moment. It's like, what are you making? I'm gonna make it look more like a globe now. Here we go. Ooh. Just joined long enough to say hello. Hi, Carla. Going to lunch with friends. Fun. I love how you're always out and about. Working on a cross stitch pattern plus my crocheted. Yes, that's right. The hexagon blanket. Always have a work in progress. Yes, yes, yes. See you next month, Carla. Thanks for saying hi. That's so sweet. I've seen some really great crochet projects on the internet lately. I've been getting targeted. I saw somebody made the cutest little like patchwork crochet sweater. It was all made of these small squares and they all matched. It was all like daisies, just like a square with a crocheted daisy, and then all attached together into a really cute sweater. I was like, I'd totally buy it. I wish I could stitch it. I also was at a thrift store and tried on this really cool crocheted sweater. Maybe it was knit. I can't remember which. But I took a video of it. I've been thinking of posting it to see if any knitters or crocheters could help me, like, I don't know, retroactively figure out a pattern for it, because it seemed like it was kind of a one piece other than the sleeves. Even it had this like cool collar, but if you pulled it up, it was all one piece. It just sort of went square and then hung. It was kind of retro looking, like a long cardigan. Anyway, so if anybody knows how to make a crochet or knit pattern from an existing piece, let me know and I might try my hand, because it was a really cool sweater and I kind of want to make it if I could. I don't know. It's been a while since I've cross stitch. I cross stitch all the time. It's been a while since I've crocheted. But I do know how. Hi, Diane. We have 2 Dianes, Diane McAlpine and Diane Becker. How are you, Diane Becker? Good morning. Good morning all the way across the ocean. Okay, here I go. I'm going to start outlining my world. I'm going to start down at Australia, go up by way of Japan. No, that's Papua New Guinea. And then I'll go up by Japan, the other island I stitched with three little French knots. I see so many things I want to make. Oh, I know what you mean, Danielle. Like, so many things. Oh man, 'tis the plight of a creative person. It's just that toxic belief. It's only toxic because of time. It's not toxic because of empowerment or anything like that. But just like, oh, I could make that, and it's like, then it devolves into like a 6-month commitment of learning something new and figuring it out and da 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 da. Like, ugh. I mean, yes, just because you can make it doesn't always mean you should, or does it? If it really lights you up, of course I say go for it. But yeah, it's the curse of it. I guess it's not that it's toxic; it's that it's a curse, because then the projects just keep building up and just keep building up and up and up. But hey, I guess that means we're never bored, right? Like, I guess that means we will always have something to do. We will always have something to learn. We will always be entertained by our own endeavors and creativity, right? Something to be said for that. It reminds me of that quote that's like, "The man who laughs at his own jokes will never cease to be amused," which is totally me. Spencer laughs with or at me more, I think, because I'm usually giggling to myself about stuff, and that makes him laugh more than the thing that I'm giggling to myself about will make him laugh. But hey, I never cease to be amused because I can make myself laugh. So maybe that's with crafty people, is that we will never cease to be entertained, to be fulfilled, to be inspired, and that's something special. So, hello, all of you beautiful people who've joined. Come hang out. Slow down for a minute. Take a breath. Get a snack. Tell me what you're up to. Does anybody have any cool plans this weekend? Carla's got the cool plans, but she already bounced. She's going to lunch. She's doing a lunch thing. Tomorrow I'm going into the city to see a friend for lunch. I've made friends with the Airbnb host from our last Airbnb, and she's in town. And I was like, well, let's get together. So she's an artist. We have a lot in common. Of course, the Airbnb host at this current Airbnb is an art dealer, art curator, art something like that. So I guess it's no wonder that I'm drawn to the Airbnb spaces that have a little bit more creative and artful personality in them. Just received my Stitch People book. Can't wait to dig in. Hey, congratulations, Musings by Mona. Fantastic. Oh, Danielle says enjoying this, but I have to go. That's okay. That's okay. It's meant to be a pop in and enjoy if and when you can. Thanks for hanging out for a while, Danielle. Good to see you. Enjoy your California day. You just got started, I suppose. It's early-ish where you are, so enjoy the day. Bye for now. Musings by Mona. Are you already a cross stitcher, or is cross stitching new for you? Is Stitch People going to be your gateway into cross stitching, or is it just a new version of it for you? Tell me more. Tell me everything. What are your hopes and dreams? How can I help you feel successful on your Stitch People-y journey? I'm here and I'm happy to help. I'm going to be stitching this earth border for the rest of my life. I have done cross stitch before. Great. Fantastic. So you're not starting completely from scratch. That helps a lot because the design process can be involved. So if you've already got like the execution down, once you get to the stitching part, that definitely helps. Takes off some of the pressure. Looking at cross stitch, make portraits on paper. Great. As a tip, there are character design pages in Do It Yourself Stitch People. We also have the Stitch People workbook. You can get it printed or you can get just digital and print at home, but there's like templates that you can use that make designing on paper a little easier. But we also have a free journal of just blank graph paper that you can use. It's just graph paper, but it's done for you and ready to go. So if you are curious about that and would like to print some more graph paper to use, if you go to stitchpeople.com/book, that'll take you to the DIY like product page on the site, but scroll through the description and there's a link for the oh great, now that I'm saying it, I'm second. Excuse me, and I'm hiccuping. It's all going crazy. No, let me pull this up. Stitchpeople.com/book. I'm just going to double check that I did put the link. I've been reviewing all of our product listings and there's like 200 of them. So little by little I've been doing this, but available anywhere in the world. Details about the book. Dog breeds. Nope, I haven't done this page yet. Oh no, it is. Print it yourself design journal. It's at the very bottom of the description. So if you want to print out some more graph paper for designing, check that out. So I have plenty of graph paper at home with 2 kids. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm overthinking. I'm solving problems that don't exist. That's kind of the story of my life. That's kind of Stitch People for you. It's solving problems that exist for some people and not for others, I suppose. Because some people, it's like they take the concept and run with it, and some people are like, I need a pattern for every single thing I do. Please help. Some people want, ideas and inspiration. Some people like the creative uh, autonomy, and some people prefer to have more steps to follow. So, it's always fun to see where people fall in there. So, oh, let me check my comments. Diane Becker, she says, good afternoon, doing well. Hope you are too. I took a long break off from boarding my house project, but with spring coming, I'm getting back into that project. I've been commissioned by an interior designer to cross-stitch 2 pieces being made into pillows, and other projects I'm just toying with for myself and friends. Diane, you are on top of the world. That's so fun and exciting. That's quite a lot of projects. How are you feeling? I'm glad for your mental health that you took a little bit of a break from your big project as you're gearing up for these other things. That's pretty cool and exciting. Very, very cool. Congratulations on the commissions and things. That's great. And then we have Diane Becker says, getting ready to make warm German potato salad, heading to a party for food friends. That's fun. And Chris says, morning, Lizzy and all. Hi, Chris. I feel like my mom used to make warm German potato salad. That sounds familiar to me. It's got my mom written all over it. Hello, Kelsey. Hello, people joining. Let's see. Mona says, really excited to design portraits. Oh, good. I'm excited for you. And don't forget, at the back of the DIY book is a big glossary. So if you're like, I need a hat, I need a beanie, I need pom-poms, check the glossary in the DIY book because it might tell you where to find it there. Or you can go to stitchpeople.com and use the search bar and also search for keywords. I'm trying to improve our product descriptions and keyword searches so that it's comprehensive of all of our patterns that are there to help you. And I mean, obviously you can design anything yourself and customize things, but if you're looking for specific stuff, it might already exist. So check it out. We've got like a lot of sports and cultural patterns and things on stitchpeople.com as well. And I've been digitizing, not digitizing, I'm just formatting. The Stitch People Club has been going for a few years now. So I'm going through past years' patterns and making those available for purchase for people who weren't in the club during that time but are curious about those patterns. They're available in batches. It's taking a minute to go through them all, but I've been meaning to do it for a while now. So oh gosh, my outline gets real faint. Hope I keep making a round world and that it doesn't get weirdly flat right here. Okay. I think we did it. All righty. Okay, sorry I went quiet. When I concentrate, I have a hard time staying chatty. Spencer always makes fun of me. Usually he's on these live streams to help in these moments, to help keep the convo going, as it were. He's great at conversations. But he's gone. He's in Canterbury. I just got a picture from him, actually. I wonder what it's from. Ah, that's beautiful. I don't know where they are. Spencer just sent me that. Gorgeous. The blue sky is coming out today in the UK. It has been, as you might guess, rainy, very rainy for the last month. So it's nice that it's been a little more dry, and seeing the blue sky and the sunshine peek through has been very heartening. The spring bulbs obviously help too. The minute the daffodils started to come out, I was like, big sigh of relief in my whole body. The trees are starting to bloom as well, so the blossoms are appearing little by little, which is fun. Always love to see that. Very excited to see it all come alive. I'm glad we arrived in the winter so that we're not surprised by winter next year. But it will be fun to see it all come open and alive and full, green and vibrant. Hello, we've got a bunch of more people joined. Leslie and Sarah and Marlis. That's a pretty name. Hello, hello. Diane says, I'm very excited, like having multiple projects because I can bounce between what I'm inspired to work on. Oh, yes, that's always the nicest. Instead of like, oh, I still have to go do more time on that thing. Feels a little more elective, a little more optional. We love that. Love to have options and choices. How has it been over here? It's been really great. It's been really great. Spencer and I keep like every day, it's like pinch me. We live here. And it's funny because on the one hand, we're really enjoying exploring and excited to keep doing that. And we're also starting to feel like excited to settle and get in more of a groove. But to be honest with you, the lack of permanence is its own kind of freedom in a way, because like it took us maybe an hour, 15 minutes to pack up all our stuff, load the car, and give our last Airbnb kind of a once over. We didn't like clean it because there's a cleaning fee and cleaners that come in. But you know, we've got a dog and she sheds, and so we just like wiped down the kitchen and bathroom real quick and vacuumed. Hour and 15 minutes. Everything we have in our ownership in this country took us an hour and 15 minutes to pack up and load the car. And there's just something really like wow about that. That like it's not, we don't have a carport full of stuff or a storage unit full of stuff or whatever. Like, I mean, we do have our RV back home and that's got some stuff in it, but I don't know. It's freeing to be living on a smaller scale. So we're leaning into that for a while. We're loving walking everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. I mean, I went from there were some days where I would get like hundreds of steps in when I was living in Utah. I'm not kidding. Maybe hundreds of steps some days. Like days that I maybe didn't go to the gym, didn't walk the dog, like just my day-to-day living would not require much movement at all. And here, you know, unless I like went for a walk and made walking its own category. Versus here, it's just built in. It's just built in. Like today, I'll brag. I mean, I think today I'm already where's my steps counter? There we go. Oh yeah, I'm at 10,000 steps for today already. Yesterday was 16,000 steps. The day before 7,300. The day before was 7,500. So it's just easier to be active, and that feels really, really good for all sorts of reasons. Um, it's fun to be in a place with so much like history and so much going on. We saw a play last week. We saw All My Sons in the West End with Bryan Cranston and I think I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm taking a stab at it. I think it's Paapa Esadu, who's he's in some Netflix stuff. He's an up and coming. He was just cast as Severus Snape in the new Harry Potter series. He was in the play, and it was cool that we can just like go into central London and see a show on the West End, and like that's an option. So we're really, really loving it here. We really are. It's fun. There's just always something to go see and do, and even our options for like when we have a night in, if we want to get like takeaway and get some food, um, just we have more options. Everything, it's cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. We're very happy, very pleased, and it's funny. I've said to Spencer, and I've probably said it on these streams before, that like in the end, I love hindsight. I love knowing the end from the beginning. It just makes things easier in life. crazy. That's how not really how life works most of the time. Um, and I certainly don't know the end from the beginning here. And I have said to Spencer often that like I don't know why we're supposed to be here, but I know we're supposed to be here. And um and just feels really good. Here's the kind of thing that keeps happening. Let me tell you about the synchronicities. So another video that I posted on Stitch People Instagram, um, before the two fellows stopped and stitched with me, a woman stopped, and she was really cool. She didn't have a ton of time, but she did embroidery and she was in fashion design and stuff. She now teaches Pilates in Brixton. I was like, okay, cool. Well, nice to meet you. She gave us a follow. Um, and then yesterday, I was going to visit another friend and was getting on the tube, and she was walking up the stairs. Like, of all the hundreds of thousands of people in this area, what are the odds that as I'm happen to be walking to my train, this like, I mean, I know a total of like 15 people in the entire country that I could identify name and face. You know what I'm saying? Of all the people, like there she is coming up the stairs. Here's another thing that happened. This play that we saw on the West End um, on Wednesday night. The show starts, curtain goes up, and I lean over to Spencer. I'm like, I know him. I know that man. One of the actors in the show that we happened to go see on Wednesday was my Airbnb host when I came to England by myself in the fall of 2024. I came and was here for like 3.5 weeks, and I met a bunch of Stitch People friends and just scoped things out. And I stayed at this beautiful little cottage out near Canterbury and stayed with this really lovely guy. And I've gushed about Richard to Spencer. I was like, he was great. He's an artist, he's an actor. We had this great chat about creativity and yada, yada, yada. Like he was just such a nice person and such a nice host. And um, anyway, I had his number because of having stayed at his Airbnb. And so I texted and was like, "Oh my gosh, what are the chances? Um, I happened to come to your show and spotted you. I recognized you. Like how wonderful! What a great show." Well, then he texts and is like, "Oh, come say hi at the stage door." He invites us backstage. He invites us onto the stage. We got to see the theater. We met other cast members. We got to sit back with him. There's this little like bar and eatery for cast and crew, and we just like hung out and caught up. Um, and like because I happen to know, again, I know like 15 people in the whole country. What are the odds that one of them is in the show that we went to go see? Like, these are the kinds of synchronicity things that keep happening that make me feel like, okay, we're in the right place at the right time because it's just things feel like they're really falling into place in a way that hasn't been the case for a while. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So, talk about a small world story, right? Like, so crazy. Um, oh, hello. I know how to say this one. Portraitjes from the Netherlands. Hello, Annie. Hello, Stacy. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Karen. Hello, Becky. Hi, everybody. Let's see. I've got Marlis says, I'm new here. Which part of the world are you? Oh, I'm in London. I'm in South London right now. I'm from the US. And also welcome. Hello and hi. And I'm just gonna turn on focus mode because my hubby is texting me and it's ding ding dinging. Yeah, I'm originally from the US, kind of all over in the US. I was born in Michigan and raised in upstate New York and went to high school and college in Utah and lived in LA for a while, lived in Maine for a while. But it's always been a dream to live in the UK. And so my husband and I moved here about 6 to 8 weeks ago. So we're very freshly new um, here on this side of the world. But yeah, so far so good. Okay, this looks more like a globe, right? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I might just keep filling it in with more. I've just been doing stem stitch to be able to make it a little rounder. So I might just keep doing layers of stem stitch because then I can um, have a little more control over the shape. I can It's not the most perfectly round thing I've ever seen, so I can make some adjustments there. Uh, all good though, all good. And I need a little bit more in the Pacific Ocean. It's a little top heavy. There's more water space up here than down here. So I think if I like do another layer or two of the blue down here, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Which part of the world are you in, Marlies? By the way, always love knowing where everybody is. I was running some numbers, and Stitch People has been purchased and sent to 92 countries around the world, which I wouldn't have guessed it was that many. So it is definitely fun to see Stitch People crop up worldwide, because it is, and it's kind of mind-blowing. Kind of fun. Oh, Marlies is from the Netherlands as well. That's great. Fantastic. We flew into Amsterdam back in January because it's tricky to get a dog into the UK via Heathrow Airport, the big international hub. And so a lot of people go to Paris and then take the Channel in, or people will go to Amsterdam and take the ferry over. And that's what we did. So we flew into Amsterdam. Very, very nice people, very helpful at the airport, very helpful Uber drivers. It was really nice. We definitely, definitely want to go visit more and see more of that beautiful country. So hello, Catherine. Hello, Crystal. Hi, everybody. Oh, what did Chris say? I see oh, Chris and Emily. Hi, Emily. Oh, Emmy. Emmy. I see. Emmy P. My browser was cutting off your name. You sold Stitch People? No, no, we haven't. No, I must have said something incorrectly, or that sounded wrong. Um, doo. I'm just trying to lace this up. Lace thread? No, I'm trying to thread this up. Lace my needle. That's not it. Hi, Emmy. Thanks for hanging out while you're stitching. What are you working on? I probably shouldn't ask you questions, because that means you have to pause to type instead of doing the stitching, which you specifically said you were doing. So you don't have to answer if you would rather just keep on stitching. Just keep stitching, just keep stitching. No, we were considering selling Stitch People for a while. It's funny, I think Stitch People needed to just move with us. It's it needed to move out of pattern land, because that was always Stitch People was like more books, more books, more books, all the books, patterns, digital patterns. Oh, I see. Chris said, I thought you said that you sold it and it was going worldwide. No, no, we have sold Stitch People books in 92 countries. Yes. So people from 92 countries around the world have purchased Stitch People books, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we did toy with selling it, but it's not just like a normal business that you would just sell. Like, it's too personalized. You really have to know the products and it's like to help people. You gotta it's not just like t-shirt designs that you can replicate and just keep on like planting a money tree. It's not like that. It's not like other businesses. But it's kind of true, because it just requires a real knowledge of the product base and the system. And it never felt right to sell it. Um, but I did take a bit of a break from Stitch People last year, and that helped me zoom out and try some other things in my life and see what I wanted to do moving forward. And I just needed to get out from under making so many patterns all the time, because for me, it started with the stitching. But then people wanted patterns, and I was like, okay, and I just kept making patterns, and I got stuck making patterns for so long, and that wasn't the fun part for me. I mean, it is fun, but it's not the most fun. So now I'm getting back to the more fun part, which is like stitching and teaching other people how to stitch and getting to know people through crafting and cross stitch. And I'm finding a groove, melding my interests with crafting and with filmmaking and storytelling and things like that. Bringing them together to focus more on like social media and storytelling with cross stitching via social media. I'm finally looking at social media as like um, less of like a sales and advertising channel and more as a storytelling channel. And that's been really fun because social media and I have, as many of you know, a long and sordid history. I fundamentally just don't like what social media has become and what it does to people. And so it's really hard to run an e-commerce business where so much of our sales requires staying at the forefront on social media. It's a real catch 22 because it really bums me out. But but I think I finally found some things that I can do on social media that don't feel smarmy and um salesy, and I can just do what I do and help people and bring people together and make videos about it and see if that helps other people in the world feel good too. Fight the AI slop and fight the rage bait and fight the negativity and fight the divide by showing raw humanness. It's funny, like even in the I'm sure I don't know if any of you have noticed. We all notice our own flaws, right? Because I've posted a couple of these videos where I'm talking to these two dudes who stopped and stitched with me. And I notice I have my hair um ropes naturally. Like it's got enough curl in it that it if I pull it back, it'll sort of twist into sections. And I notice in the video, there's like this big part, like it looks like a big bald spot just the way because I ran my fingers through my hair and tied my hair up. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let my big like part bald spot on my head show because that's what it was and that's who I am. And people are people, you know? So anyway, once again, just blabbing. Emmy says, I live in Minnesota. Hey, Letterkenny. I sure love Letterkenny. Okay, Emmy, I'm going to catch up. I purchased Stitch People book last year. I'm excited to start a project for my son and soon to be daughter in law along with their pit pup. Oh, that's great. I'm sure they'll love it. Need to figure out how to make the pup, who's black and brown cutie. Great. There is quite a lot of explanation in the book on pet customizations and combining colors that probably will be your friend, especially if there is brown mixed in with the black. That'll help the eyes pop if you have not just black underneath the face, underneath the eyes. I'm currently stitching on Letterkenny. I sure like that show. I really, really like Letterkenny. And Minnesota, man, you okay? Solidarity to Minnesotans right now. What a time. What a time to be in Minnesota. Woof. National headline times. Um, I feel like Letterkenny finished, right? Did they have 11 seasons, 13 seasons, or are they still going? And then they did that spin-off show about the hockey dudes. Cross stitch therapy, yes, 100%. Looks like you're in Turkey. I think the name is Kara Design. Kara Inci? Kara Inci Design. Cross stitch is therapeutic, isn't it? It's very meditative. I like one thing that I like about fiber art, cross stitching, embroidery, knitting, crochet, is that it is slow and that can be frustrating, um, depending on how you're wired. But even in its slowness, well, especially in its slowness is kind of the point. And it's like one thing at a time. And it is so satisfying to see things come together, just one stitch at a time. And it might be small progress, but there's always progress. You know, I do like that about cross stitching, that like we don't control much in the world these days, but we can add some stitches to our canvas. We can make some progress. We can move things forward just a little tiny baby bit at a time. And that's nice. There's something very, very peaceful in that. Shorzy, that's right, Emmy says. I'm currently wearing my red hat and being quiet. Solidarity. Solidarity. I like the resurgence of the red hats. That was, I've learned quite a bit about those. I think it started in Norway, red hats. Shorzy. I never did watch Shorzy. Did you? Is it good? Shorzy was always a funny character on Letterkenny. I think it's funny they gave Shorzy his own show. And I know it's played by the same guy as it was on the show. I think they're just such a creative bunch of people. I really respect the world they've built and they do the podcast and they do the live shows and tours, and they were on YouTube. Like they've really set a precedent for immersive um, world building and fan building. Letterkenny has very loyal fans, as they should, because it's excellent. For those of you who don't know, Letterkenny is a Canadian comedy. Very quirky and fast-paced and silly, and really resonates if you have any ties to like small rural towns. I really like it because my family lives in a very similar town in Maine. So, and bordering Canada, Maine has a lot of similar isms to Letterkenny. I'm sure Minnesota does too. Shorzy is hilarious. Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm doing a Puppers bottle. That's great. There's a brand of beer in the show called Puppers. I think it's like fake, right? Like for the show, it's just like the show's beer. Is it a real beer? I don't know. I don't think it is. I mean, it probably is now. They've probably made their own. If it didn't exist before, that would be smart if they did. Oh man. Okay, so Australia's all filled in. I've got what is this? This will be like South Korea's all filled in. I'm working on India right now. Filling India in. It's incredible how much floss gets used up by doing 8 bagillion French knots. 8 bagillion. See, my little smushed Australia. I reckon it like curves around. It's the only continent that curves around the globe. Just a little bit. You get the idea though. Australia's in there. I just didn't want to forget about Australia. I didn't want to leave it behind. Do we have anyone from Australia hanging out? Probably not. Probably not, huh? It's probably like super early in the morning there. All right. Oh, hi, A. Murray and Mary and Mervelli. Yes. I am Bab. Hi, everybody. Emmy says they did a limited release of Puppers and then it went away. Okay. Well, at least they capitalized it on for at least a little while. I think it's so funny when shows do that. Like we watched the John Oliver finale and he was auctioning off a bunch of stuff for charity and he made a joke about it, but he released John Oliver wine for this specifically, which I thought was funny. You could buy wine. For some reason, it seems like a lot of celebrities have wine or tequila or something. I guess if you can, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm just like a firm believer in the fact that just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, and maybe that's why Stitch People is just the small business that it is, because I don't want to be like exploitive. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't want to like just take people's money just because I can. Not that I can force anybody to do anything, but like we could fill up our Stitch shop with a bunch of Stitch crap and people would probably buy it, but I don't want to sell you all crap. So I don't. That does not feel like who I am as a person or what I want to do or how I want Stitch People to be in the world. But alas, I don't think that is the common business mantra to choose the potentially not making as much money option because it's skeezy. Oh, oh boy. Oh boy. In today's day and age, oh boy. Alrighty. It's 8 p.m. in Turkey right now. Ah, okay, that's good to know. 8 p.m. in Turkey and very cold. Oh, interesting. I don't know much about the climate of Turkey. If it's 8 p.m. in Turkey, then I would guess Australia's in the middle of the night. So we probably don't have any Australians. Emmy says yes in all caps with multiple exclamation points. And I'm not exactly sure what you said yes about, but I do remember what I was just talking about. And I'm glad you agree with something that I just said. That's heartening. Oh, this is, I don't know. And it's informed by like, I just sold all of our stuff. Like, we just don't own a lot anymore. And it was excruciating. It was a excruciating process to have to declutter so much stuff. Garbage bags and garbage bags full of clothes to the resale place near us, or they have one of those like charity, like we'll give you some dollars for your clothes, and they sell them secondhand, um, or even just donating, just getting rid of the dishes and the stuff and the pillows and the blankets. Oh my gosh, it's just so much stuff. And you do need a lot of stuff to live and be comfortable, especially if you have kids, and no judgment on that. Um, I'm not saying stuff is inherently bad, but I do think an excess of stuff is bad. And I hate that like we just are all so convinced that like we need more of the stuff. And if there is a one good stuff that you can have, well then get the one good stuff in every color. It's like that classic thing that appliances aren't built to last anymore. Like did you know that when light bulbs were involved, the light bulb manufacturer CEOs got together and they decided the average agreed upon lifespan of a light bulb. Light bulbs could last forever, but they don't because all the light bulb dudes decided they shouldn't, so that we would have to replace them so they could make more money. It's this kind of stuff. If I buy a washing machine, let it just work and wash my clothes. Don't build it so that it breaks so that I have to buy another one. That is exploitive. I don't like that. I like that I can buy a washing machine. I need a washing machine. It makes my life easier. Thank you, washing machine people. I'm not saying buying a washing machine is a bad idea. I'm just saying getting screwed into buying multiple washing machines because they're not built to last, because they just want our dollar bills. Just saying that's a very gross thing to do. Maybe it's just me. I legit thought I would put out do it yourself Stitch People, and that would be it for Stitch People. I really thought it would just be the one book because I thought I answered all the questions. And I thought that I gave enough instruction in that book to be like, go do your own thing. You can do ballerinas, you can do other things. I did not think through the animals. That's true. Farm Animals was the second Stitch People book because it was like, oh yeah, there's more than cats and dogs. um, and then of course, there's been such a natural extension of more and more and more Stitch People stuff, and I am genuinely happy to help. But I did not set up Stitch People with the intention of like, and then I'll do more patterns, and then everybody will buy patterns forever. Like, oh, setting up my cross stitch empire, exploit them. No, not at all. No, no, no. I would give it all away for free if I could, but I gotta make a living too. Which is just so unfortunate. What would the world be like if we could all just like do what we like the most and help each other instead of have to like charge each other, you know? Take that weird awkward thing out of the equation and just be like, "Oh, you're good at this one thing, I'm good at this other thing. What if I did this thing I'm good at for you and you did this thing that you're good at for me? And we'll help each other." I'm just saying, let's go back to the barter system. Probably going to get blacklisted for even suggesting it. You never see Stitch People online ever again. That's what did it in just now. You were here. You were here, folks. You heard it here first. Emmy says, sometimes it's okay to leave well enough alone. I'm looking at a starter crochet kit company. Ooh. Does that mean, are you looking to like start one? Is that what you mean? Least cross stitch last. Just look at the 18th century stamp. Yes, Chris, I agree with you. Yes, yes, yes. There's something to the heritage of it, that's for sure. or like beautiful old clothes or beautiful old tapestries that have stood the test of time that you can keep enjoying. And sometimes they get too delicate or they fray or they disintegrate. Like, but that's because it's made of natural material. Cotton and silks and things like that, they get very fine. And I didn't realize how much just like sunlight can damage. I guess it's the UV. If it can damage skin, why not tapestries? And also like particles in the air, like dust, can create like friction on fabric, decorative fabric on the wall, like tapestries, embroidery, and stuff, which I learned. I didn't know. It makes a lot of sense. Kind of interesting. We're at 5:11. I'll probably close down here in just about 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, here at the quarter of the hour, just to give my voice a little rest and get us all back to our day. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. It was like a little sassy, like sometimes it's okay to leave well enough alone. Here's looking at you, start a crochet kit company. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm less into crochet, so I don't know who you're calling out specifically, and I totally dig your vagueness. But yeah, there definitely are some opportunistic models out there. And that's okay. That's okay. It's hard. It's hard to be and sometimes like and I don't talk about this much, but like stitch people, it's all about like making it your own and that's part of it, but there are some people who try to make it their own and profit from that, and there are some people who try and make it their own and profit from that and like don't ever tag stitch people and don't ever mention stitch people and like that hurts. That's that stings. I notice when that happens and it's like, cool, well, I'm glad I made this book and made these patterns for you to try to replicate it and not ever even mention me. It feels very strange. It's like you wouldn't do a cover of a Taylor Swift song and try and pass it off as your own. You'd say, I'm performing such and such by Taylor Swift, who came up with the song, and now I'm doing my version of it. That's how like doing a version works. It's called a derivative work. It's a whole category in copyright law. When you create your own work based on somebody else's work, it wouldn't exist except for the person who did it first, right? So I don't know. It gets icky, and the only reason that it's icky is because money is involved. Like if I wasn't trying to make a living and somebody else wasn't trying to take what I do and make a living, it would just be sharing, right? They wouldn't feel the need to be exclusive and pass it off as their own to make money from it. And I wouldn't feel the need to like claim credit because I wouldn't be needing to make money from it. Um, and it would be easier to just be collaborative. It's very tricky. It's very, very tricky. Tricky business, really. But it is what it is. And you just got to choose your battles. And you got to remember that most of the time, people's choices don't have much to do with you. It's all to do with them. And that's okay. That's why I'm always very grateful for tags and mentions because it's not a given. It's not always a given. So anyhow, oh, we've got some more people joining. Thank you for hanging out. I think this will be my last stitch. You guys, I filled in quite a lot though. I did my blue outline of the world and I filled in Australia. I filled in some little stitches that are like the Philippines. And I filled in some of China and South Korea and India and the Middle East on my world map coming together. Um, Lag 35 asks, what are you stitching? I'm calling it my community canvas because this is the canvas that I'm bringing out with me when I go do Stitch in the Parks to see if anybody wants to sit and be my friend. I have these that I take with me and say, hi, I'm Lizzy. And I think that creativity and connection and handmaking is magic. And do you fancy a chat? You can come stitch with me. And so the idea is that I can teach people to stitch on this canvas, and everybody will add their own little things. Like these were added by some friends that I met. And I've put, I'm just putting a little world in the center as a wee symbol of the whole thing of it. So anyway, I think that'll be it for Sip and Stitch today. Well, hour and 15-minute hang. Thank you so much for jumping on, everybody who's watching across all various platforms. It's always a pleasure, and I hope that all of your works in progress continue to go well. I hope you all get some good stitch time in this weekend if you didn't get much while we were hanging today. Be sure to post your beautiful works online so that I can see them and celebrate them with you. And until next month, last Saturday of every month is when I do a live stream hangout. So I'll see you at the end of March. And until then, be sure to say hi and, comments and DMs and things like that. That's always appreciated and fun to see familiar faces there too. So thank you so much. Have a happy, happy Saturday and happy stitching. Bye for now.